Welcome, fellow students, knowledgeable teachers and respected parents to the annual Group 4 Project Week. This year the theme that was given was the London 2012 Olympics, which have just passed this summer. The Cobalts have decided to focus on the velodrome and what to take place there. First off, I am joined by Oriane alongside Caitlin, whom I worked with on the biology part of this experiment. Thank you for joining me, Oriane and Caitlin. First off, what was your experiment about?
Well, our first experiment looked at the effect of exercise and oxygenation levels of memory. We recorded a number of objects that people could memorize at rest. We spent 5 minutes at rest, and then while having done 5 minutes doing exercise at constant speed, so biking, we believed that a better oxygenation during exercise would improve the memory.
Thank you. So were the results what you expected them to be, or were there any deviations from this first experiment?
Well, with the tests involving the oxidation of the brain and the memorization of objects, only one of the subjects actually followed our expectations. And in the end, our results were actually pretty inconclusive.
That's a shame. Oriane, what was the second experiment about?
So our second experiment looked at the effect of the levels of endorphins and serotonin on physical performance. What we did is that, as you might know, when you eat chocolate, it causes your production of endorphins to increase because it is a hormone which is produced when you do something that gives you pleasure, such as chocolate, as most people know. Endorphins act as inhibitors. They prevent signals that cause you to feel pain to reach your neurons, which means that you're less liable to feel fatigue or pain while doing exercise. In normal times, the endorphins are produced after 30 minutes of exercise only, but when we give chocolate to people, this time span is much shorter. So what we did is that we measured the heart rate of students at rest, and then whilst doing 5 minutes of cycling at a constant speed, and the time it took for their heart rate to go back to normal. We then gave them 20 grams of very concentrated chocolate, and we waited for them to digest it before retesting them on the bike again.
Did the experiments follow your predicted expectations of the results, or were they any deviations?
Well, we had expected their physical performance to be enhanced due to an increasing level of endorphins, which would have decreased the fatigue they felt. And we also believed that their heart rate would increase due to an increase in the production of dopamine and serotonin, which is caused by the ingestion of chocolate. As expected, the heart rate went up for 2 out of 5 students and stayed quite constant for another 2 out of 5 students. What we also noticed, and was very interesting, is that students generally recovered faster and went back to their normal rate faster after exercise when they had eaten chocolate, which means that we could consider their physical performance to have been somewhat enhanced.
Thank you. Were there any massive problems with the experiments?
Well, we definitely could have used more time. For example, with the chocolate one, we need time for the chocolate to be digested. A good half an hour, but we weren't able to do that, so we just didn't have enough time.
Okay.
We also had a few problems with the apparatus, mostly the digital apparatus, but in the end most problems were solved, although this required a bit of time.
If you could redo the experiments, what would you change?
We would use many more students than what we have used, take bigger samples, and also more varied samples. We use students with levels of memorization that differ, and students with varying physical performances, physical abilities.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with the physics team.